serve. And the abilities of the educated far outweigh where they got their education. Because many of the most time-honored monuments of higher education are so filled with those who care more about what people think of their school than what they do about their abilities as a well-educated person who is in demand for their abilities. The business world could actually care less about where one went to school, but they do care for and are very interested in how well anyone can do the job. For this reason, there is now a trend in institutions of higher learning called guerrilla education. In guerrilla education, even online colleges are competing and getting better employment for their students than the society institutions.
This is Lauren Adams.
Enrolling the wealthy
Welcome
for
back
all of the wrong reasons.
to day 19.
And they don't need fancy buildings with Olympic-sized basketball courts and swimming pools, or elegant ballrooms for social activities, or libraries like they have at Harvard or Yale. The bottom line is this: the jobs are now going to those who will do the work. For the first time in modern history, there is a level academic market on the lookout for natural aristocracy. This then illustrates the fact that the piece of paper called diploma is not as important as fulfilling one's obligations in any field of endeavor. In the ministry, people want to identify with someone who prefers to report the discernible truth over dramatic and dogmatic doctrines. In the world of legal matters, of the law, the world is also rapidly changing so fast that it is a full-time activity just discerning the difference between information and disinformation. Many times in history, the amount of laws governing our lives were subject of revolt. Page 40. Doing a dirty job without getting one's hands dirty is now becoming a difficult task. Didn't we all notice that the tendency in establishing any new rules or laws that we will all too often say to ourselves, well, that won't bother me, especially if it makes those people do what they're supposed to do. Put another way, why would it bother those who intend to obey themselves? Wouldn't it only annoy those who didn't want to, or those who didn't intend to obey at all? Why do those who don't mind being accountable and responsible members of society doing what is expected of them have to put up with all the crap imposed on us because of others who could care less about being law-abiding citizens, who can't or won't do their part? Sounds harsh. It is at this point we need to be very careful about the infringement on freedom for, instead of the freedom from way of thinking. Else we could soon be back to the way it was in England before our forefathers came over on the Mayflower to settle at Plymouth Rock. And yet it remains true that some rules, guidelines, and laws are necessary to enable freedom and justice for all. So if indeed we are all then faced with the decision of when, what, where, how, why, and who, too many laws obviously would bring about as much unrest as too few would be, allowing those who don't intend to obey themselves or others too much wiggle room, supporting those outlaws in their pursuit of taking too many liberties, others' rights and properties as they wanted to, which they would after becoming addicted to freedom from state of being. The truth is that all people, especially children, want and need clear definitions and limits set for them, so that they can more comfortably go through life with confidence without worrying about offending others' rights. Yet human nature is to take shortcuts if they are available, and even the chickens in the neighbor's backyard if no one is watching. So what then is the best way to set the stage for harmony and keep the good people interested in obeying themselves? This may not be as easy as it sounds in the 21st century, because there are way too many different ideas about what laws are needed, and so many diverse options about what truth is. In the Tao Te Ching on page 193, this very issue is made visible. If the common people are really not afraid of dying, How can one frighten them by threatening to kill them? But if the people are real afraid of dying and know that we will arrest and kill those who do perverse things, who among them would dare to do them? If the people are really afraid of dying, then there will always be an executioner.
Remember, I think of this as behavior in heaven, heavenly behavior. As an 80-year-old elder, I feel that it is my responsibility to point these things out. And I am reading from my own book, For Heaven's Sake, which is about a 340-page testimony on how to behave in heaven, in my opinion. I don't expect everyone else to think like I do, but I love sharing my view. Wonderful place, heaven, isn't it? And now, once again, I would like to thank you for your time and remind you that day 20 is next.